We are back at B-Shape Fitness and Nutrition Private Gym, where we are going to hit one solid session today on strength and hypertrophy, on hitting all those fibers of the back. We're going to get it fully pumped today, guys. But the first thing is first, we need to get our supplementation. So, getting in that pre-workout, but also I love my vasodilation tablets from PNS, guys. The Pump Bomb. It's a hybrid. It's an amazing vasodilator, and I like to add it with my Pro Alpha Drol to activate as much nitrogen retention in the muscle as possible. And I have used my last two tablets, meaning my last serving. That one's done. Need to replace it. And then also my Super Halo, guys, to have massive pump strength and just to activate in size. Okay, so we've got our tablets, water for hydration. Now it's time for the pre-workout. So I've been using for the past week Amandla Labs pre-workouts, guys. Phenomenal if you're looking for a good quality, affordable product that you can have the strength, the pumps, as well as the performance. Then you have the right supplement for you on that. Boom. But what I'm doing is I am adding some pure carbohydrates, as I am looking to add not more calories, but to refill and drive more glycogen to the muscle. As I mentioned, I want to get one intense muscle activation pump today. Fill in that water. Just a little bit, not too much. Just so the carbs can mix as well. Now, guys, I'll be going through the session today, the exercises I will be doing, why I'm doing it, and going through the anatomy, and also to target each muscle that we have planned for today on the back, to hit not just only strength, but also to target hypertrophy in growth. So the reason for the supplementation is, guys, not just for energy. No. It's to have as maximum muscle activation as possible, to have maximum oxygen going through the body for performance, for strength, and just to have optimal nitrogen retention activation to have the results that we want. So that when we use our intra workout, the glycogen has a meaning to go towards the muscle, to refill that muscle glycogen with the BCAAs, the glutamine, the carbohydrates. And I think this is pretty much shaken now. I think the carbs has dissolved. Let's go for it. So this flavor is raspberry watermelon. Guys, let me tell you, it's sweet but not too sweet. It's got just a perfect combination, and it's not too high in caffeine as well. It's the perfect combination, like I said, for intra-level supplementation, especially if used in combination with what you want to achieve. And obviously mine is to be as anabolic as possible, to have maximum muscle activation as possible, to have maximum vasodilation and muscle pumps, and just to target each muscle that I'm training each day to the optimal level in performance. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to set up. We're going to wait about 15 minutes before we start, and then we're going to hit our first session. Boom. Flex it out. So we are on our first exercise, and The first two exercises we are going to be doing is compound movements. As I mentioned, guys, we are going to be doing strength and hypertrophy, but we are first going to be targeting that fast twitch fibers, doing that strength movements. So the first two compound movements I was choosing is going to be overhand barbell bend over rows. We are going to be doing 3 sets, and the aim is only to get 6 to 8 repetitions. Then we'll move over to our next compound exercise. That will be barbell deadlifts, where we'll also only be doing 4 to 8 repetitions, but also it will be a compound movement, and that will be our strength for today before we move over to our hypertrophy and our isolation movements. So guys, our first three sets will be, like I mentioned, 6 to 8 reps. So let's go for it. So look at your placing. The goal is to activate the fast twitch fibers before going over to the isolation. Always make sure your hands are equal, your back is straight, and look at your elbows. Contract scapula up as you go up. Open. That's it. Control the movement at all times. Now the first set is still light, hence why I can speak with nice and control. Okay, so I'm going to increase the weight with 5 kgs on each side. That would be about 10 in total, as the goal is not to lose my posture and movement, but rather to have correct form and the muscle to be engaged where we want it, and that is the upper back, as we want to add more thickness. So also engage in more growth when we go over to the isolation and hypertrophy movements and repetitions. So we're going to rest 60 to 90 seconds, and we're going to go into set 2. I'm definitely going to feel this session. And guys, you only need 45 minutes intense muscle activation to engage on the muscle group you want to train to get results. You don't need 2-3 hours plus unless you're a professional athlete or training for a sport or a bodybuilding competition, where you actually divide your sessions in, muscular training as well as cardiovascular training, to engage in muscle growth and one to engage in fat loss. So if we're looking at general muscle growth and strength and hypertrophy, 45 minutes, 3 to 4 days a week is all that you need. So I'm going to add another, not 10 kilos in total increase, as I'm only starting to add compound movements now recently again into my sessions due to out of alignment in the hips, causing obviously muscles to go into spasms and just taking that alignment out. So we want to focus on maximum engagement once again by targeting the strength factor as much as possible. So we're going for our third and final set before we'll be moving over to our second exercise of compound movements. So that's it for our first exercise. Now, guys, I could have went much heavier, to be honest. But gradually increase the weight and rather focus on correct movement and muscle engagement than to have your ego boost to lift heavy weights and injure yourself. So let's go set up for deadlifts. We're over to our second exercise of compound movement. And like I mentioned, it's going to be barbell deadlifts. So we're going to be doing 3 sets over here. The first set, I just put 60 kgs on the bar, just to go through the movement, just to engage in that muscle activation. I'll maybe push 8 to 12 reps, but on the second and the third set, I will increase to 70 to 80% of my strength ratio, and we'll be engaging in 4 to 8 repetitions only. But let's get hydrated. So, when we get about halfway in our session, I'll introduce the intra workout that we'll be using to obviously refill that muscle glycogen and just to further push and engage into the muscle activation. But for now, guys, let's go. First set still right, not needed the straps, still doing overhand position. So at a 10, we're going to rest 90 to 120 seconds to get the oxygen back, get the strength back, and I felt like I could increase the weight, and but we're not going to increase it too much. We're going to put a 10 kg on each side, go up with 20 kgs, and we're going to keep the rep range, as I mentioned, 4 to 8 repetitions. So I don't think I need to use the straps as of yet. So guys, yes, as you see, I'm not lifting very heavy weight, as the goal is not again to have an ego boost or to injure myself. The goal is to get all the engagement of today's plan that's set, and that's a target, each anatomy of what I've targeted for today and planned for today to engage in, and that's full on muscle activation, muscle pumps, strength, hypertrophy. So do what's needed to be done for today with full intensity without injuring yourself. So with me, yes, when I was younger, I used to increase 120, 160, 180, but as I get past my 30s, I started focusing more on engaging into the muscle, focusing on longevity, but still engaging into strength and hypertrophy. So let's go. Again, Rest 90 to 120 seconds. I could easily increase this set with up to 120 and do 2 to 4 repetitions. But I'll rather slowly progress and move up to the weight in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Gradually increase with 5 to 10% increase in strength. Like I said, prevent the injury and have better muscle engagement going forward. So what I will do is I'll go up to 100. I'll just add 10 on each side instead of 20 and stick between 4 and 8 repetitions. So guys, what I love about a deadlift is a lot of people contemplate, where it works, what it works. Is it a back exercise? Is it a leg exercise? Yes, it engages every single muscle in your body to make this movement possible. But it is amazing for overall growth and strength. Not just legs and hamstrings, but overall back muscle engagement. So yes, it is an overall good exercise to incorporate with inside your back exercises, or separately as a power movement when you are doing only strength training for the day. Say for instance, there's 3 major muscle parts: back, legs, chest, so bench, squats, and deadlifts. But for me, I'm incorporating it as a single exercise within my back routine to engage in full-on fast twitch fiber engagement and engaging in overall strength as well. So I don't think I will need on this set yet still the wrist straps. Once I go past 120, I will start using the wrist straps. So I think 4 to 8 reps I will still be able to manage. Remember, always push through those heels, core in. So, so guys, the up movement, the concentric movement, is not as important as engaging into the eccentric movement, the down movement, the negative movement, as the body moving against gravity is where it builds strength and 80% muscle activation. So, we're done with the compound movements for today, and let's go over to isolation hypertrophy. So guys, we're over to our third exercise, and as you see, it's now an isolation movement. And the goal is to hit hypertrophy rep range between 10 and 15 repetitions. Same, we're going to be doing 3 sets, and the rest is going to be same 60 to 90 seconds in between. The reason now not 120 is because we're not doing a compound movement, so we do not need as much rest in between. So we want obviously more muscle engagement, less rest in this to activate in full activation. So we're doing medium rep, low pulley rows. Again, the goal is to add thickness to the upper and middle back. Nice and controlled speed. You see I'm going slow against the eccentric movements. Think of 4 seconds, 2 seconds in the concentric. So you saw I hold that last rep there for about 3 to 5 seconds. It's almost like a plank. It's called an isometric hold. That's where you engage in full muscle activation, but no movement in with the joints. So I'm going to increase the weight as another 5 kg aside, so it's 10 kgs total. And we're resting 60 to 90 seconds and keeping the rep range between 10 and 15 repetitions. So we're holding a medium grip on this one, where our next exercise we'll be doing another rowing movement, but we'll be doing it overhand. But I will not be doing it on the cables. I'll be doing it on the supported T-bar row machine. As yes, it is semi-compound, but also more of an isolation movement, as of where the posture and the movement, it's a lot isolated on the muscle. Whereas with the overhead and bent over barbell rows, it was more of engaging in core, engaging in overall muscle activation, more of a strength movement. But I will still see and decide how I feel after this set, if we'll be doing cables or if I'll be doing the machine. We'll still see. So I still managed to put out 15 repetitions. I think I'm going to increase the weight with not a 10 kg in total, but rather with the 5. As the reason for that is I want to still try to engage into the full 15 repetitions and not less. Yes, I can increase with 10, but then I think my intensity will only be at about 8 to 12 repetitions, and I would like to have muscle engagement on increased weight, but also have the same repetitions to have that blood flow going to the muscle. So let's rest our 60 to 90 seconds, and then we'll be doing our last and final set before we engaging into our next isolating movement. Whew. Get some water for hydration, guys. I think after this exercise, I'll be adding the intro workout as well. Keep the time on attention. I definitely felt this set. I'm not gonna lie. So guys, let's rest about 120 seconds while we're getting ready for our Fourth exercise, targeting the isolation. And like I mentioned, we are going to be grabbing an overhand. And I think I'll be sticking to the cables, but just in the long bar. So guys, it's that time. We're heading over to our fourth exercise. And as I mentioned, we need to now have our neutral as we engage in maximum muscle activation. Now we need to feed it with branched chain amino acids to increase protein synthesis, L-glutamine to get rid of lactic acid buildup, carbohydrates to reform muscle glycogen to improve further performance, and we still have another 3 exercises to go. And I'm going to add another scoop of pure carbohydrates. As I mentioned, the goal is not for me to add increasing calories. No. The goal is to reform muscle glycogen to the maximum possible potential that can to put in all the necessary nutrients back into my body. So we are gonna shake this up. I mixed a bit here, but it's fine. It's not so bad. Again, guys, supplementation is optimal. If you feed your body right supplements, you'll get optimal results, whether it's muscle building, muscle performance, strength, endurance, weight loss. Feed the body optimally towards what you need to achieve with your training program, and you'll get results. So guys, we're going to start sipping on this, getting a glycogen back into the body, and then going to be moving over to our next exercise. Boom. So like I mentioned, I decided not to do the T-bar supported overhand rows. I decided to stay on the cable row machine, wide grip. Let's stay 10 to 15 repetitions. Nice and controlled. So I definitely can increase the weight here with another 5 on each side, and still keep the repetitions between 10 and 15 rep range to engage in hypertrophy. And also keep the rest between 60 and 90 seconds. The goal is to increase my back in more thickness and width as they move me back up to bodybuilding, as where I come from a physique and a muscle model background where it's more aesthetic, X-frame, less in volume, and now I need to get that muscle density and thickness back. But we'll see how we progress, as it's still long before 2026. And we'll just keep the daily grind and hustling and improve our body as we can on a day-to-day basis. So on the previous set, I increased the weight, but I tried to increase it not too much to stay the rep range from 15 reps. So now I'm not going to increase the weight. I'm going to stay the weight the same, but that is so that I can achieve that same rep range on 15 repetitions. But let's first rest 60 to 90 seconds, and then our final fifth and sixth exercise I'm going to be combining, as I will be engaging in superset. So I'll be doing close grip, medium grip pull downs, supersetting with rope cable pullovers. So guys, let's do that final set over here before moving over to our final exercises. I'm definitely going to feel this session. So guys, let's rest up for 2 minutes and we move over to our final exercise, doing 3 sets and doing supersets of medium grip pull downs and rope cable pullovers. So guys, we're over to our final isolating exercise where we're going to superset medium grip pull downs with rope cable pullovers. And the goal is to stay between 10 and 15 hypertrophy rep range, engaging maximum muscle activation. Definitely managed to push that 15 reps. If I increase the weight, I definitely won't get 15. So I think I will maybe stay the same, but let's see. Back was definitely exhausted, guys. And I don't think I will increase this weight. I'll definitely increase the pull downs by 5 kgs a side. Almost probably not 250 rep range, but I'll definitely do my best to push for 10 to 12 rep range and stay hypertrophy, and then try to start engaging to 10 to 12 rep range on the rope pullovers. As I mentioned, sip in your session, intra workout, as I don't use it as my post workout. The reason being is I try to get in 40 to an hour after my session a nice big meal where it's balanced with carbohydrates, vegetables, proteins. So my intra workout spikes my protein synthesis, the BCAAs, my carbohydrates will build my muscle glycogen as is needed to keep my body also anabolic. And obviously my insulin doesn't get spiked due to the chromium and the alpha nucleic acid in the products. So it regulates your blood sugar levels so it doesn't spike your sugar. One thing I do enjoy about supplementation and why it's needed, guys. So when doing a superset, you can rest a bit longer, but try to keep it within the 120 second range. I could most probably have pushed it at its water reps, but I think I would have exhausted myself too much and I would have not been able to do the rope pullovers with semi-perfect form. Where I do also want to gauge this exercise in perfect form and muscle activation, regardless of how re-exhausted the back is. Definitely not going to increase that weight. Let's rest. And then we're going to be doing our final set before we're going over to just some closing off the lats and to engage in further blood flow going to the muscles that we trained for today. Seconds here. Just get the oxygen back before we engage in the last set. So guys, we've done 2 compound movements where we engage in activation of the full upper back, the middle back. We've done the second one, the barbell deadlifts, where we engage in full muscle activation of the whole back, from the erector spinalis muscle to the lats, to the traps, to everything. We've engaged into medium grip rows where we engage in isolation movements of the middle back and thickness. We've engaged into the lats and the width. We've engaged into pull downs to activate the lats, where we superset it with pullovers to engage more into your erector spinalis and to get that thickness in the lats that's needed. So we targeted for the day 5 different anatomy spots, and every session I tried to target similar spot with different activations. So let's go over to the next one before we get into cold. Those last 3-4 reps, I'm going to be honest, that was burning. Even if it's not full repetitions or partial reps, it's still engaging into muscle activation. That's all that matters. So guys,